You know how the current president came to be president? He was just called to the office, and this man thought he was making a good deal, and they handed him power. Do you also know that actually there were witnesses, heads of state? Did you know that? One of them being the former president of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta. The other one being the president of Egypt, Sisi. The other one being President Ramaphosa of South Africa. You ask to go and visit them and ask them this question. So this whole thing, you see, no, I wish they could actually come forward and say, hey, wait a minute, by the way, we know this story. the story, and the other thing is, you also know that Rwanda being blamed for M23, FCM23, Eastern Congo, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. Fine, you can blame us for doing whatever we could to make sure FDLR doesn't cause Rwanda problems, and whoever was supporting that. But you cannot blame us for the start of this conflict, because everybody knows where this conflict started from and by who, and it is nothing to do with one. This M23, I have said it before, came from Uganda. They did not come from here. Why was it not made Uganda's problem? Now, how do people account for their personal health ordinarily? How do they, all of you, me, and others, how do people want to account for people's personal health? Is there an exception, by the way, in this world? Is there anybody? Well, first of all, there is nobody who lives forever. Secondly, even for anybody's life, whether short or long, you have to manage all these issues as human beings. Well, but when it comes to politics, maybe this is not taken into account. In fact, some of my personal health problems might originate from managing you people. The amount of stress you, and so for me, as a human being, yeah, you know, people got COVID, they get this, they get flu, they get a cold, people just, even their own hearts, as they're moving, the heart stops and somebody falls down. I mean, isn't this human? What is the problem? What do people want me to account for? That I'm not human? Even if those, you call them the hateful people who, I mean, the kind of politics. You know, the very person might be talking about somebody or talking about me and wishing me everything bad and say, wish, you know, he has actually died and then by the time you see me, he's actually already dead himself. And which has nothing to do with me, just because these guys are human beings. Like so, I mean, it's Yeah, but this is the kind of politics I think, I hope we got liberated from ourselves as a nation. It's even beyond stupidity. It just doesn't make sense. Have you ever had anybody, I mean, you can rejoice even when they're carrying somebody in a coffin going for burial. You can have that moment of rejoice and say, aha, turamukize, and so on. And by the time he gets into his car, 1 kilometer, he has followed the other one. So I don't understand the logic, the politics, or anything at all. So anyway, at least you raised the question. Rest assured, it is me sitting here with you. It's not anybody else.